Let us now understand the next concept, that is work done due to a variable force. So till now, whatever examples, whatever concept we saw, how to calculate the work done, that was all with a constant force. What if the force is varying? Let us say the force that we are talking about is a function of x, where x is displacement. That means along with some distance, the force is changing. One example of this could be F equals to 3x, let us say. So we have to now find the work done due to this force on an object from x equals to 1 to x equals to 2. So this is a number line 1, 2. The body has to go from here to here. Now while it is going from here to here, you can clearly say that F equals to 3x. This will constantly change along with the distance. So for example, if you put 3 into 0.1, what you'll get is 0.3. I should be putting 1.1 because 1.1 will come here. 3.3 newtons is what I'm getting. F equals to 3 into 1.2, we'll get 3.6. F equals to 3 into 1.3, we'll get 3.9, and so on. So every time you can clearly see that this is increasing. Now while the body will go from here to here, certainly the body will get displaced, there is no question about that. But the question is, every time, at every moment, the force is increasing. Even if I try to classify this into smaller intervals, let us say now I'll go from F equals to 1.1 to still smaller 1.1. So let me go to 1.01. If I do 1.01, what I'll get is 3.03. Here also the force is varying constantly. So which means that we need to find a way out now to tackle this variable force. And so we have developed a method through calculus which says that if you want to go from position x1 to position x2, you just see how the force is and then take a small element. Now to take this body through small interval, how much work is done? Let us say this element is dx. For the body to travel through the element dx, the work done would be dw. Now I am considering that the displacement and force are in the same direction. This is always valid. In general, we can always take f dot dx. And dw is f dx in this case. So to find the entire work done, what we have to do is x1 integrate this basically dw, and this is going to be x1 to x2 f dx, which is going to be work done. Finally, I can say that the work done would be then given as x1 to x2 f dx. So this is what we need to learn. Now because this involves some kind of integration, as a student of physics, you should have some basic knowledge about integration. So all the basic skills that are required at this level, I would say that you should know algebraic integration, x raised to n. X raised to n in general is given as x raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1. A few examples could be given. Let me show you a few examples here. Suppose I am to integrate x cube dx, it will be x raised to 3 plus 1 by 3 plus 1, which is x raised to 4 by 4. If I have to integrate x raised to minus 2, we can always say that it is x raised to minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1, which is x raised to minus 1 by minus 1. If I have to integrate x raised to minus half, this could be integrated as x raised to minus half plus 1 by minus half plus 1, which is x raised to half divided by half, which means it will be 2 times x raised to half. So these are some examples. I think when we take a few examples, the things will be very clear to you. I can further break down this property, and now I can say that if I can talk about the variable force along one dimension, I can always extend this concept to 2 or 3 dimensions as well. So in general, I can always say that F dot dr. This could be the work done. Now when I say dr, we're talking about space, and dr would be then given as dx I cap, dy j cap, dz k cap. Let us say we divide the force components also. Now the motion along x or the displacement along x will primarily happen because the force along x will be activated, or because there will be a force along x, there will be displacement along x. Because there will be a force along y, there will be displacement along y. And because there will be a force along z, same thing will happen in z. That means we need to write this force as Fx I cap, Fy j cap, and Fz k cap. That means the total work done now, I'm going to write as integral Fx I cap plus Fy j cap plus Fz k cap dot dx I cap, dy j cap, dz k cap. Now if you find a dot product, what you're going to get is Fx dx integration, Fy dy integration, and then finally Fz dz integration. So we are integrating the individual forces along all three directions to get the net work done. Similarly, we can have a situation wherein more than one force is acting at a particular point, and then I'll be saying that the summation of all the forces, I can also write this as F1 dr plus F2 dr plus F3 dr and so on would be giving me the net work done. So that is the process to find the work done in terms of variable force. Let us take a few examples to get a better understanding of this. So one force is given to us, and they're saying that this is a mass of 5 kgs. The force F equals to 7 minus 2x is responsible for displacing it from x equals to 0 to x equals to 5 meters. Now when it is going to be displaced, definitely some work will be done. So as per the definition that we have learned, work done is given as F dx. Now the limits for this are going to be x1 to x2. So F is given as 7 minus 2x dx from x1 to x2, which is 0 to 5. So x1 is 0, x2 is 5. Now let's integrate this. So if I integrate 7, I'm going to get it as this, and if I integrate this part, it will look something like this. So the rule is, whenever you find some constants in integration, let the constants be taken out of the integral sign, and we'll get this expression. Here also we can remove this 2 out and we'll get x dx. Now integral dx is equivalent to x raised to 0 dx. We can look at it this way. So x raised to 0 dx means x raised to 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1. This is what we get, which means that it is x. So integral dx I can always write as x. So let me continue this over here. 7 x from 0 to 5. So 5 is the upper limit, 0 is the lower limit. This is going to look like 2. The integral of this is going to be x square by 2 according to the formula shown, x square by 2 from 0 to 5. So this is going to be 5. Upper limit minus lower limit. So if you put 5 minus 0, I'll get 5. Here it's going to be like the 2 comes out straight away and cancels with this, and then what is left inside is x square. So if I put 5, I'm going to get x square, which is 25. 0 is 0. So what I get is 25 ultimately. So 35 minus 25 is 10 joules. That's the answer to this question. Let's take another question to get a feel. Let us now say that the force which is acting is of the form Cx. Let's call it minus Cx, where C is some constant. Let's call this C as some constant. Now this is displacing the body from x equals to A to x equals to B, and we have to find the work done. Now by the nature of the force, if C is positive, then we can say this force is retarding force. That means it will slow down the body over a period of time. Let's integrate this and find the work done. So A to B, F dx is going to be the flow. Now we know that the force is minus Cx. So let's put it over here from A to B. Take the minus sign out, and this will look this way. In fact, we can take the minus C out straight away, and this is the expression that we get. Now after integrating, obviously I'm going to get minus C times x square by 2, and let's put the limits. So if I put the limits, I'm going to get b square by 2 minus a square by 2. So I can finally write the expression as C times C by 2 a square minus b square. That is the expression, and that is the expression for the work done. So it's very important to specify the units. So we know that work done is given in joules.